So one of the things that Venerable tries to encourage us to do here in community at the Abbey is to try to, as best as our ability, to turn what is considered to be everyday mundane activity into virtue. So a while ago, last year, she had talked about the gathas, or the 41 prayers to cultivate bodhicitta. So I've been thinking of all the mundane offering service things that we've had at the Abbey that we have a wonderful opportunity to transform our minds with. And I've been thinking of our lovely, ambitious forest thinning project that we're doing for the past year, for the next year. And how could I use an analogy in regards to that to help me make it into a virtuous activity just instead of just an activity of thinning the forest? So I was thinking about the forest as our minds. And from a distance, they look quite healthy. But when you start practicing the Dharma and you start walking around in your mind, you start to realize that the self-centered thought and the self-grasping ignorance has been doing its dirty work. And underneath the surface, the trees, the states of mind are all distorted and diseased and struggling, stressed from lack of any type of light or compassion. There's a lot of these stunted trees could represent confusion or wrong views, afflictions. And so taking the analogy farther then is, how do we then eliminate the afflictions and the self-grasping ignorance and the self-cherishing that is taking all of this delicate positive potential and through distortion and its own self-grasping is making a mess of things. So along comes, and they use usually axes and swords of Manjushri, but in this context we're using the blade of a chainsaw that is sharp and new and cutting, as the analogy of the wisdom realizing emptiness. And the thing about this chainsaw is, like wisdom realizing emptiness, you must have single-pointed concentration, mindfulness, clarity of mind, deep awareness, and the ability to analyze the situation as it arises. And so the gatha that I would like to put out for all of us is, may the thickets of ignorance, anger, attachment, and all wrong views be eliminated completely by the sharp blade of wisdom. This is the prayer of a bodhisattva when thinning the forest with a chainsaw.